Good morning. Good morning. My name is Aisha Hamilton. I'm a creative project manager and designer at the UC Berkeley Library, and I'm one of the Now Conference committee members, and I'm the moderator for this session. I have a pleasure to welcome everyone to Finding Your Why, Navigating Jobs, Careers, and Life's Purpose, presented by Liesl Mendoza. Liesl is passionate about helping people find meaningful work and become purpose-driven leaders. After 30 years in IT solving business challenges, she founded the Mentoring Club to connect aspiring and seasoned leaders worldwide. She believes meaningful work leads to success and happiness, and that mentors play a vital role in this journey. With a bold vision to develop mentorship for anyone, anywhere, the Mentoring Club now spans 6 continents, 50-plus countries, and a thriving community of over 500 members and mentees, all dedicated to changing the world one leader at a time. Let's all please give Liesl a warm welcome to the stage.
Can you hear me? Okay, so the audio people said it's just gonna work. So good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for being here. I hope you're enjoying your morning. And congratulations to all of you for making that decision to invest your time in your career growth and advancement for this whole day of the Now Conference. So good morning again. I am Liesl Mendoza. I founded the Mentoring Club as my give back passion project after 30 years in tech and consulting. And the Mentoring Club focuses on leadership development mentoring for people in the workforce. And we're doing it globally. As Aisha mentioned, we now have about 600 registered mentors and mentees in 6 continents and over 50 countries. So the next question is, why am I here? Why am I here today? I'm here today to share my life with you. I'm here today to help you reflect on your life. And I'm here today to help you find your why. I will attempt to make you realize what you're going after. Is it a job? Is it a career? Or your life's purpose? And once you confirm, I will guide you on some of the strategies and tactics on achieving your goal. I will also attempt to entice you to commit to act and go after what you want intelligently, not impulsively. So those are our learning objectives for today. So in the Mentoring Club, we believe in enjoying the journey. So here's a small number of us in a fun setting. We had just finished a workshop to set the stage for a fun and enjoyable journey for this session. So we'll be here for the next 60 minutes together. So know that there is a community out there that is cheering you on as you invest in your career growth and development. If there's one thing that I would like you to remember in this session, this is it. Know what you want and go for it. Now, don't leave yet, because we are going to go through the process of doing that. Knowing what you want is crucial in enjoying what you do on your everyday work life. Going after what you want is paramount to experiencing joy and fulfillment, again, every day of your life. So what are you going after? Let's do a poll here by a raise of hands. What are you going after? Is it a job? Is it a career? Is it life's purpose? And don't overthink it. Just raise your hand for the one that resonates with you the most at the moment, because it could always change. For job, think about the knowledge, skills, and steady income that you get from a job. For career, think about the recognition of your expertise. Do you want that now? And then for life's purpose, think about making an impact. So I will run that poll now. So a raise of hands. Are you going after a job? Okay, I see you. Thank you. And then, are you going after a career? Okay. Yes, thank you. And then, are you going for your life's purpose? Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you very much. I see all of you. Thank you for participating in that quick poll. Here's my attempt to make you realize what it means to go after a job, a career, and life's purpose. And how will I do this? I will do this by sharing what it means to go after each one of these choices. Going for a job. What does it mean to go for a job? In my experience, it means that you are leveraging your knowledge, skills, and experience to gain more knowledge about yourself. So as you do more of something, you get to realize, am I good at this? Am I bad at this? Does this energize me? Does this drain me? Next, you get more knowledge, you gain more knowledge, skills, and experience. So as you do your work, you learn that we learn more than what we learned from school. You get to specialize in a specific area, whether it's vendor management, accounting, business intelligence, and so on. You get exposure to developing connections with people at work. You also gain confidence in your ability to get the right things done right. Do you have the skills? Are you using the experience? Are you getting recognition for the things that you have done right in the work that you're doing? And you gain income to start building your wealth. So you get paid for doing the work, and you get to start learning how to build your wealth. Now, what does it mean to go after a career? It means leveraging your knowledge, skills, experience, and network to gain, number one, opportunities to focus on work that you enjoy. So now you've experienced certain things at work, and you really know that you are good at this and you really enjoy working on this project or with this specific group. And then you gain recognition of your expertise or for your expertise. You get recognized about what you're good at. And you also gain confidence about what matters to you. The recognition gives you more opportunities, and the validation actually develops and builds up the confidence in yourself. And of course, there's income. We get paid more for doing what we're experts on. And lastly, we also gain more in-depth knowledge about yourself. We gain clarity about who we are and who we are becoming. So next, going for life's purpose. What does this mean? It means leveraging your knowledge, your skills, your experience, your network, and your wisdom to gain, number one, clarity on your life's purpose and legacy. Through reflection, you gain more knowledge about yourself, and with that knowledge, you get to decide what legacy would you like to live with behind in the world. And then you also gain influence on others to embrace your legacy as part of their own legacy. You can't do it alone. You need others to make your legacy happen, and with clear purpose, you learn to find your tribe. You also gain a platform to make a difference in the world. Your movement to form a tribe or a group that builds your platform to make an impact. So a community, a platform. And then you gain a way to share your wealth. So you've built up your wealth, you have your basic things that you need. You can't take your money with you forever. So pursuing your life's purpose means converting your love for your mission into a philanthropic action. And then lastly, you gain self-actualization, fulfillment, and joy. Knowing that you are making a positive impact in other people's lives is priceless joy. So now, I would like to share with you some life journeys to give you examples to make you realize that how did people go through this, deciding whether they want a job, a career, or life's purpose. So, and the basis for that would be something that we're very familiar with, or most of us are familiar with, the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You may think of the job as addressing our basic needs, the career as satisfying our psychological needs, and life's purpose as our response to our self-fulfillment needs. And here are the examples. So the first example, she went for a job as an auditor. She graduated with a business degree. She joined one of the top consulting firms as an auditor. She hated it after a couple of years. And she quit her job, and through mentoring, she realized her passion for helping children with disabilities because her cousin has Down syndrome. So she decided that she will go into behavioral therapy. So she studied, she got her first internship job, and she got a full-time job. And she was happy doing the work with children. And then she realizes through self-reflection that she also has a passion for design. And she thought, how could she serve that community more? And she decided that she wants to be an entrepreneur. We paired her with a marketing mentor, and she came up with the idea of setting up a startup that produces footwear for people with disabilities. So you don't have the usual tie, but Velcro, because it's easier for them to manage. And with that, in her journey, going into her career, into the process of understanding what she's good at, what she enjoys, what matters to her, it was actually a mixture of career and life purpose. right? And the way that the mentoring club had helped her is really to find those mentors in those different stages of her realization. So when she was doing both behavioral therapy work and startup venture, she said, I feel so satisfied, gratified, and fulfilled, but I'm so tired at the end of the day. So 24 hours a day is just not enough. And so luckily we have another mentor in the mentoring club who focuses on stress management. And she connected with him. And now she's actually doing her master's in behavioral therapy. So the second example is somebody who took a lot of time in jobs, in the job phase, right? So he worked in the military, he worked in different industries, different roles, nothing, no direction, but he was good at what he was doing, and then he took a pause and he said, you know, I really want to be specializing in something. So he wanted to establish his career, and he asked his friends, what do you see in me? What can I do well? And one of his friends, who was one of our mentors, told him that he could be a good project manager. So he started with that. He looked for opportunities to manage something. He got into a consultant position as an operations coordinator. And then he got recognized for the work that he did. And eventually, he got promoted. I think in a couple of years, he got 3 promotions. And now he's really enjoying his work in that manufacturing company, which is also in sustainability. So I don't know yet. I haven't checked in with him if he is at that stage already where he's looking for purpose. But I know that he is satisfied with the career that he is set out to accomplish for himself. So the last example is someone who took a job out of college as an actuarial assistant programmer, fresh from school. And she realized that these are 2 career tracks, like insurance and programming. So she had to make a decision on which one to focus. And when she evaluated, okay, what does it mean to be successful in the field of actuary? And it has to take 6 levels of exams. And the first level of exam was heavy on calculus. And she said, okay, I'm a math graduate, but I didn't enjoy that very much, so I'm going programming. So she went into programming after about a year of being in the job, and she realized that that would be her career, because being a programmer, talking to people, experiencing the difficulties that they're having in their jobs, and being able to develop this cool program that will make things easier for them and more efficient and serving the end customers at the same time, then she wanted that. And then with that love for the work, she became a systems analyst, an MIS manager, and took her MBA degree, and from government moved to the private sector, and became a project manager, program manager, and then eventually she became chief operating officer and an accidental entrepreneur in Silicon Valley. And at that point, she realizes, I feel blessed. What can I do to give back? And she realized that she had a passion, or has a passion, for helping people develop themselves as leaders in their careers. And in open forum, when she was attending events, she heard questions from younger professionals. How do I find a mentor? Is my manager my mentor? How do I ask somebody to become my mentor? And so she decided that that was her calling. 2 ingredients: passion for developing people, and empathy to help people find the right guidance, the right mentors to help them achieve their goals. So this is my story. So, and what I'm sharing with you today is born out of all of those experiences that I've had in my life and in my career. So let's pause for a few seconds. What does your life journey look like right now? So I'll give you some time to think about this. And if you want to jot down things on your notebook, please do so. This would be a good introspection period for you. All right. So think about famous people's life journeys. After you've reflected on yours, if you would like to understand more about yourself, think about who those people are that you admire. And here are just some examples, and I tried to make it as global as I could possibly find. So these are some people, famous people. If you know any one of them, think about their life journey. Does their life journey resonate with you? Or think about somebody else. So think of that person. So the next question I have for you is, do you have a 30-second elevator pitch? Can you do a show of hands? Oh, okay, I see. Okay. So that's great, and that's understandable. You may be thinking, why do you need a 30-second elevator pitch? The answer to that question is actually the same answer to this question. What does it take to know what you want? I'd say self-awareness, knowing yourself. Who are you? Why are you here? What are your values? And what makes you feel alive and make life worthwhile? Self-awareness, knowing yourself. So I will attempt to give you a 30-second elevator pitch that you may be wondering, and I'll tell you a little bit more later. So this is a lifelong process for us to get to know ourselves, right? So here's my attempt for you to get to know me. Who I am as a person, who I am as a professional, what I am great at, my superpowers, and let's try. So I'm introducing myself. Hi, I'm Liesel. I'm constantly striving to be a good human being. I believe in loving our neighbors as ourselves. I am a creative problem solver. I believe that every problem has a solution. If one solution doesn't work, then try another, and another, and another. I am an information technologist by profession, and with that, I incorporate the use of technologies in solving problems. In my over 30 years of experience, I have found myself to be, one, a caring employee. I do what it takes to get things done, even if it's outside of my job description. I am a responsible entrepreneur. I take care of our employees, our customers, and our partners. I am a loving philanthropist. I make life adjustments and sacrifices to support the causes I care about. And lastly, I am Filipino American. I recognize the nuances of my upbringing, my native culture, and the culture of the country that I am living in and I'm thriving in. So that's about 30 seconds. But you're probably thinking, you're really not going to introduce yourself that way, right? So you're right, I don't. I never do that. I'm doing it here so that you can get to know what are the elements of my elevator pitch, who I am, what I'm great at, what I care about. And that's what I would encourage you to do. Because in situations where you're networking, you just have to pick from, oh, who is this person that I'm talking to? Is this a potential colleague? So if you're in the UC Berkeley space and you're trying to think of moving from one organization to another, is this person in that organization that I want to move to? So you probably would highlight what you've done for the existing organization that you are in and why you are so excited to find out more about the work that they're doing in their organization. So you pick elements of your elevator pitch when you introduce yourself. So I would encourage you to have something like this. And now would be a good time for you also to start jotting down what are the elements of your elevator pitch. Who are you? Why are you here? What do you care about? What are your superpowers? What are the things that you don't enjoy doing? And how would you like to see yourself making a difference, whether it's in a job, it's in a career, or a life's purpose? And also, if you'd like to share your thoughts on this at the end of the session, you are welcome to do so during the Q&A segment. I would be so happy to hear anyone share their elements of the elevator pitch. All right. So going back to finding your why, are you going after a job, a career, or your life's purpose? I want to share some of the strategies and tactics for each goal. And some of this will be really familiar to you. Some of this may be new to you, but feel free to give me feedback. If you're going after a job, consider these strategies and tactics. So number one, spread far and wide. So you hear this from LinkedIn influencers that just come up with your resume and then just send it to the job openings that you see online. So you're playing the numbers game. So you have to prepare your resume so that it reflects really what is the job that you're looking at. You're not tailoring it for every specific job, but you already know the core of what kind of job you're looking for. And then send the resume to all potential matches that you find. The next strategy is targeted list. You may want to target a specific industry, a company, or specific connections that you have. And identify them, research them, network and build trusting relationships with them. So go to Zoom networking events, go to in-person events, go to that company's events. If you want to go to a tech company who's having a convention, you may want to go there to understand their culture. You may want to go there to meet people and then connect with those people on LinkedIn and follow through. Internship. So excel and be hired would be the strategy here. So you have to perform excellently so that the people that you're working with in your internship will actually recognize your potential for a full-time job. And then, of course, you want to apply with that company if you like the company. The next one is volunteer. Add value and be valued for your expertise. So again, I would encourage anything that you do, perform excellently, because that's how you can get recognized for how you care about the work and how you perform the work, what you're good at and what you're not good at, but you work towards improving yourself on. So the initiative is definitely something all employers, all managers are looking for. So get a high value reference from the organization that you volunteered with. And then if there is any opening or opportunity for a role that you really like, then apply with that company. You already have the track record as a volunteer. So I'm thinking of the many volunteers that we have in the mentoring club, and if I just had the funds, I would hire some of them. So part-time gig is another strategy. And here, really, your goal is to just generate the income, right? So you want your independence. Your tactic is to tap into your interests and hobbies. You want to own your own time and work from home. So you have freedom. So those are some strategies and tactics for going after a job. So here again, I will request you to reflect a little bit, and if you're comfortable, show a raise of hand. If you're going for a job, or if you were to go for a job, what would be your strategy? And you can raise your hand in more than one of this. So spread far and wide. Okay. Targeted list. Okay. Wow, okay. Internship. Is there? Okay, I see you there. Okay. And then volunteer. Okay. And part-time gig. Okay, great. So there's a lot of different variations of strategies that are happening right in this room. So strategies and tactics for career. If you're going for your career, here are some strategies to think about. Vertical. So this is climbing up the ladder. Identify your opportunities within the organization, volunteer for stretch assignments, perform excellently, consistently, so that you could get recognized, you could get recommendations, and in some instances, you can get awards, and you can get that promotion very easily. Horizontal. So move laterally to diversify your expertise or your experience. And the tactics here is to build great working relationships within cross-functional teams, not just in your organization. Don't be siloed. Go out and meet people from other organizations or from other companies. That's where your networking comes in. And then perform roles in various areas, right? So we're talking about horizontal. And research for those roles in other areas of the organization that you would like to be a part of. Zigzag, so switch roles and industries. So you could be in education now, and you could be in accounting, but you are amazed at how the salespeople are doing in tech. So maybe you want to go and find an accounting tech solution and be part of them because you have the domain knowledge. So secure the same position. Your options are, or tactics, you can secure the same position in other companies, in other industries, or you can present yourself to different roles, even in the same company. So from sales, you want to go to marketing, or from marketing, you want to go to operations. So those are some considerations if you are trying to understand yourself and you're seeing that there are other potential abilities that you would like to explore and develop. And then expert, master your craft. So hone your skills towards mastery. So these are the people that we hear about that are just, well known for that specific field. Right? So in the design world, I'd say, Apple, Johnny Ive, right, is like mastery. And then gig economy is another one, right? So be a trusted consultant. Own your time, and then choose your projects. So this is similar to the other one on the job. So another reflection time. What is your strategy? Or if you were going after a career, what may be the strategies that you would use? Vertical. Yeah. Horizontal. Okay. And zigzag. Anybody thinking of moving out of the education? Okay. And then expert. Wow, okay. I hope to read about you in 10 years or 5 years, 10 years, right, because of your expertise. And then gig economy. Okay. So life's purpose. If you're going after your life's purpose, consider these strategies and tactics. Discernment. Do you really know what you would like to pursue to make a difference? So you have to introspect and reflect on what brings you joy. So the way to do it is to connect the dots in your life. So in my example earlier, I went back to my 25 years of career, and I realized I have that passion. So what is your passion? Connect the dots. And then also consult with individuals who know you well to gain insight into the work that they believe you are great at and that they found that you have shown happiness and fulfillment in. So talk to people. Another strategy is once you know what you want to do, the question is, do you join an organization or do you start it? So join or start. So contribute, whether you're contributing to an existing mission or building up your organization, it will be a choice. So seek out organizations to join. So you have to do your research. You have to seek out organizations that engage in the work that you would like to be involved in, what matters to you, what resonates in your heart, and then assess if you possess the skills, experience, and commitment necessary to establish an organization that embodies your vision and can transform your vision into reality. That is a big commitment. So join or start. And then persist and resist. Just like in anything we do, we will have distractions, right? So we will have things to think about. Am I really doing the right things, or what is somebody else doing? So you have to focus on your vision to avoid the temptations. There's a shiny new object that's happening. And so you want to be able to understand how would that shiny object play into the work that we're doing now. One example of shiny object, AI, right? So How can I incorporate AI into my nonprofit organization? Do I have the resources to incorporate AI into my nonprofit organization? I'm talking about this from experience. So my decision there is know what's happening around me, study, follow, and then when I have the right resources, then I can act. But now is learning time. Learning time. It's okay to wait. Oops. And so the next question is,
Can you go back to the last?
okay, sure.
Thank you so much.
Sure. You're welcome. So if you're already, so some of you raised your hands earlier when I asked life's purpose, right? So what stage are you in? What are you thinking of? What strategy are you in? Are you in discernment mode? Okay. And are you thinking of joining or starting something? Okay. And then persist and resist. Are you in that stage where you're thinking, oh, maybe I do this or this or this? If you're doing a startup, you're like wavering, where should I go? Yeah, it's very tempting, very, very tempting. Okay. Thank you again for being interactive and sharing and participating in the raise of hands. So after you've had time for reflection on who you are, why you are here, self-awareness, your why, whether you're going for a job, a career, or your life's purpose, or a combination, the next vital question is, what does it take to go after what you want? Courage. We all need courage. Courage to make the commitment to go after what you want, courage to make a plan, courage to act, take the first step, and the next, and the next, and the next. Courage to assess, have the humility to understand what's working and what's not working, and then go back and make a plan to improve. So it takes courage to say that, oh, what I did sucked, right? So it did not work. Then do it again. Try something different. So remember, I said, every problem has a solution. So if one solution doesn't work, try another, and another, and another. And that's where courage comes in. So I ask you to again reflect on the famous people's life journeys. What do they teach you? So if you thought of somebody earlier, why did you think of that famous person? What does their life story teach you? So think about it. I bet you, in every story, you will find courage. Do you agree? Okay. Oops. So now, we're doing good time. So I think we can do a lot of interactive conversation because I'm going into the conclusion of what I'd like to share with you. But then again, I'd like to get a poll. This is towards the end of our session. I'd like to ask the same question at the beginning. I'm curious if anything in the 50 minutes or 60 minutes that we've been here, when you had a chance to reflect if there's anything that changed your mind about realizing what you're going after. So remember what you raised your hand for at the beginning. If you raised your hand for a job, it's okay if you realize that, oh, I'm in that career mode. But, whatever is true to you at this moment. Because remember, I asked you earlier, at that moment, what are you going after? So at this moment, what are you going after? Oops. Sorry, I pressed the wrong button. Job. Okay, there was a little change there. Career. Okay, yep. And then life's purpose. Okay. Okay, all right. Very, very tiny shift on the career and life purpose. All right, and so we are cheering you on. Again, I am here with the Mentoring Club community to cheer you on in finding your why. It's going to be an exciting journey full of discoveries and sense of accomplishment and building up your confidence, knowing that what you set out to do will make you feel fulfilled and will bring your life joy, whatever it is, whether it's a job, it's a career, or your life's purpose. And if you would like to connect with me, here's my email, and you can scan the QR code to visit our website, and you can also connect with me on LinkedIn. I am responsive in all my social media channels. So I'm heeding to our social media marketing consultants' requests to be out there and be available to people, and I'm trying my best. And so I'd be happy to get questions and feedback. And as I said, if you are willing to share any of the elements of your elevator pitch, I think you have a safe space here. These are all within your tribe, within your community, the UC system and Berkeley. We would be happy to hear what you think of yourself. So Aisha, I think, it has the microphone. So if you have any, I sort of saw somebody raise her hand out at the back earlier, but I don't know if it's a question or a request. Oh, okay. Do you have any questions or feedback? Okay.
Hi.
Hello.
I'm interested in giving my little elevator pitch.
Oh, yes. Why don't you stand up and
sure.
face the audience?
Hey, everybody. My name's Nicholas Stitton. I started working here at UC Berkeley 3 months ago and have sort of shifted into this position on that sort of zigzag/horizontal path of bouncing around to a bunch of different opportunities that I've been blessed to have centered around project management. But over the last few years, I've been reflecting on like my educational journey, and originally never thought I would have ended up in the educational space, and have recently reignited a desire for what I studied in undergrad, which was game design and game development. Mm-hmm. As a mixed person, I've been finding that a lot of modern game design, a lot of these studios are sort of impacted by player distrust with companies being made up of diverse people, which sort of stems from a lot of political things going on right now. And as I think about the next aspects of my life that I want to focus on, I do think that I want to take the skills that I've learned by working in higher education and use that to do project management in a games-related space. But I don't really know how to start, so I thank you for doing this because it gives me some like places to look into, and I think I might have to do the honed path of like finding specific companies and going to their events and doing that.
Okay, wonderful. So I have questions for you. Is it okay for me to ask questions? Oh, there you go.
Thank you. And yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so I have questions for you. It seems to me like education and game design is pretty much a good match, right?
I agree.
Yeah, and so you are in the right space in education. Now the next question for you is, in the work that you have done already, what would you say would be your superpowers? What are you really, really great at?
I think I'm a good connector of people. In undergrad, I did a lot of like project management work where I acted as the intermediary to like explain ideas to coders and the art team and the sound design team so that everybody in the group could have a shared vision for the project and nobody was stepping on others' toes by like, oh, we're making a game where it's centered on magic. Maybe a gunshot sound effect isn't a great idea for what we're working on right now.
Okay.
Or animation styles of like, oh, yeah, like having something that's a little bit more rigid doesn't necessarily evoke the feelings of magic and fluidness that we're hoping to like convey to the player. And so I think acting as an intermediary in that space and being able to connect with all of these different groups of people and bring them into a shared like value system is something where I excel.
So right there, I sensed a visionary, right? Because you can understand what are the ideas that may work and may not work for this group of people. And right there also, because you're considering the people who will be using or will be participating in the game that you're designing, you're using your skill of empathy.
Yeah, I think I'd say that. Yeah.
Right? So there's empathy and there is visionary in terms of ideation. And then you work well with people in the execution. Right? Because you're proposing, oh, maybe we shouldn't do a gunshot, or, right? So do something else. So thank you very much for sharing. Can you say your name again?
Nicholas Stitton.
Nicholas Stitton. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Does anybody have a question or would like to share there you go, elevator pitch?
Hi.
Hi.
Thank you so much for your presentation. I had a question for you. So I was wondering if the job, career, life purpose, is that generally like a linear, like one builds on the other? Like for example, would you say that generally you find your life purpose later in life and there's like a prerequisite number of like years of living that you have to go through in order to get to that stage? Or is it possible that a young person, say someone, straight out of college or still early in their career, like, can they like skip the job part? Or is it like inevitable that everyone, goes through a series of jobs where they're not really doing things that they enjoy? Like, is it possible to kind of start at the career and alignment kind of section?
Yeah, so while you're asking that question, thank you very much for asking that question. So the quick answer is no, right? It doesn't mean you have to stay in a job for X number of years and then you move to your career and then you realize, oh, I have so much wisdom already, and then you go and move to your life purpose. So think about Bill Gates. So he left university He didn't have a job. He made a job for himself. So maybe he found his life purpose about disrupting technology. I don't know. I don't know him that well to say that. But just by looking externally, he didn't have a job. He didn't go through that, right? So he set up Microsoft. And then think about Jeff Bezos. He was, I think, an investment banker before he started Amazon, right? So that was the job and career. And then he realized this vision about selling books online, or selling online, taking advantage of the internet, and he focused on books. So, no, you can be out of the university and you know exactly what will make you feel fulfilled and joyful every day in your life by doing a certain type of work. And in the second example that I shared with you, so he spent many years like switching jobs, different, whatever is available, or maybe from his connections, he did the work and he did it well. So that means there is character, there is value, the values that he has, and that he did all those work well, but still he didn't feel that he was going somewhere. It was like just from one job to another, to another, to another, and not related. And then he paused and he said, okay, I need to think about what I really care about in terms of getting recognized for my expertise. And that's where he focused on project management. So it will be different for everybody. So recognize who you are, why you are here. And then what do you care about? What are your values? And then think of, will a job satisfy me, based on what I know about myself? Or should I be establishing myself in a career? Or should I be pursuing something that I really, really care about? So the example about the behavioral therapist move from auditor to serving kids with disabilities. I'm probably the classic example of job, career, life's purpose, right? I'm probably that classic example. Any other question? There you go.
Hi, everyone. My name is Julio Maldonado. Work at UC Merced. I'm a business analyst there. I'll do my pitch, I guess. So I'm a proud Chicano, first-generation professional in tech with a passion for education's ability to transform lives. My question, or I don't know if it's a question or just like flow of thoughts, but let's go through it. So I kind of, as I'm listening to your talk, I see the intersectional relationship between job and career. For me, when I raised my hand first, I said job was my initial goal in my current stage, but the second time I said actually career is, because I see job as a means to an end, because I would leverage different jobs to see what I like to then pursue a career and expertise in that topic I like, right? So I was seeing it that way. So those to me are very linear. My question is, life's purpose seemed a little bit more ambiguous, right? More philosophical. And so I'm looking at, when I chose to come to this session, I looked at life's purpose as more philosophical values, existential thoughts, what does it mean to be a human, finding that for myself. Mm-hmm. And then actually not looking at it as job, career, life's purpose, but rather life's purpose, job, career. So can you talk on that, how they can be in different positions for people to then, I guess, influence like I guess each individual might have a different way to look at how they approach their career eventually. Because I feel like, well, I guess not everyone in the world needs to work, but most of us need to work, right? So how do we feel fulfilled in making these decisions throughout our career to pick a job that maybe will give us a career, or to just choose a job and stay at a job, right? And for me, I would like to frame it with my life purpose. So I was interested in how you see that.
Yeah, I think that's a very deep reflection that you did, right? So in choosing to attend this session, you had to think about, okay, do I really need that, right? So life purpose seems philosophical, and how does that help you? So to your question about whether life's purpose should come first before job, and then career, I don't think that there is really a sequence to it, because it also depends on our upbringing, right? Because when we are influenced by our family environment, right? For example, if your parents are doctors, or if your parents are lawyers and they want their kids to be doctors and lawyers, and you're influenced by that, as kids, we look up to our parents, and we sort of like think of, yeah, maybe I should make them happy, or maybe I should, so in the Asian culture, I should respect them and I should obey them. And maybe in the Western culture, or yes, I would like to make my parents happy, and so I will go that route. But then over time, as we go into our studies, we find out, I'm not really good at this, and I'm not enjoying this, and I feel it's a dread for me to be in this class that's focusing on that particular degree that you're trying to accomplish and get a diploma for because you want to please your parents, right? So in that instance, you're starting to get to know yourself. And as you get to know yourself, you have to make a decision. Again, it will be situational. How much freedom do you have to make a decision for yourself? Not every one of us has that freedom. And so you think about, you're sort of like nurturing that seed in your mind that, okay, I will do this for now, but I know that I do care about this and this and this. And that is where, if over time, you can shape the work that you do. And that is when we say that we find joy and fulfillment in our work. That's when we associate it with you're doing your life's purpose. But it takes time for us to do it. It takes recognition of who we are. It takes the influence of our surroundings, of our environment, our culture, to make that step. And for us to make that step, I go back to courage. That's why it's very hard for some people. For some people, it's easy, but for some people, it's hard because that courage could mean disappointing my mom, my dad. It could mean moving to another company means disappointing my manager who I have a very good relationship with, right? So it's a choice. And really, if the people care about you, they love you, they will understand you, they will support you. There may be resistance. It's not always support right away, but over time, we hope that there would be transformation when they see how fulfilled and joyful you are in your life. I don't know if I answered your question, but those are the thoughts that came to mind.
Yeah, I mean, the question was a lot of topics, and I think you covered them, so I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate the question. So So we have about 2 minutes to wrap up. Aisha, I don't know if you have anything for the closing. I'm seeing 2 minutes. Is there any last comment or elevator pitch?
I have, you actually spoke about what I wanted to ask about. For those of us who encourages.
Hold on a second. Let's give you the mic so that others can hear you.
You kind of ended your answer to the previous question talking about courage. And I'm just wondering if you have any tips, tricks, strategies, guidance for those of us who maybe don't have the courage, whether if we're choosing, if in the future we want to choose that zigzag path where we're going into new industries, new roles, there's not a guarantee that it's going to be successful. And so there's that, folks like me who are particularly risk adverse. Any strategies on how to kind of get over that, how to kind of be more courageous to make these changes or these decisions?
Yes, absolutely. So what I like to share is, if you remember, I said courage, and then in parentheses I put plan, act, assess. And I also, at the beginning, I also said, go for what you want intelligently, not impulsively. Because you have to have a plan. So if you want to move into something different, you have to research what that means. What is that field? And then don't keep planning and planning and planning. You have to act. You have to take the first step. Oh, I want to go into healthcare. So I will go to a networking event of healthcare for healthcare professionals so that I can understand what they are talking about. Because you might realize, oh, that's not really the environment that I want to be in, right? So go to a few. That's part of your research. And that is action. It's forward action. So you need to find those opportunities for you to understand, is that really the direction that I want to take? So you still have to do validation. That's why you have the assess part. So you plan, you act, and then you assess. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.